Hello, this is Beyond the Hype, Why AI Needs UX. And before you say, not another AI think piece, I did just want to share this. It's a talk that I gave at Big Design on May 29th, 2025. So I had asked ChatGPT to actually write the opening for this, just to wax poetically about the wonders of AI. And it told me something to the effect of, AI is a revolution, the next step in our collective evolution. So as you can see, even ChatGPT buys into the hype around AI. Because the hype says that AI is going to transform every industry. It's going to automate away all of our problems. And it's even going to know us better than we know ourselves. Because in the AI era, there's no need for confusing interfaces and no need for guidance. It's just going to be intelligence on demand. Hype tells us that AI is changing everything. But is it going to change the need for thoughtful design and careful implementation? Because what the hype is often ignoring is that AI without user experience, AI without design, it often fails. And I'm going to begin today by defining 4 of the characteristics of AI that require design to be successful. Just because there's more hype around AI doesn't mean that it's better than human intelligence. And, AI does have us beat with grandmasters at chess, for example, and it can analyze a lot more data than I can a lot more quicker. But humans as a whole are still better at creativity. We're still better at problem solving, about exploring nuance and context, and better at collaborating. And businesses are rushing to adopt AI solutions, and they're setting themselves up for failure because they don't understand how to make the experiences dynamic and contextual. And to create harmony between artificial intelligence and human intelligence, we must build reliability into our products through research. Large language models, they're the foundation of the generative AI experience. And a large language model is a computational framework that basically remixes language to create outputs. But when we fail to apply design to our implementation of LLMs, we create experiences that alienate users with inaccurate or strange tone and messaging. We build experiences that lack the context users crave, and we place those users into dead-end experiences. In generative chat experiences, conversation design becomes interface design. Hallucinations are what occur when an LLM makes it up. It fails to cite its sources. To prevent hallucinations, we must continuously test and correct models, because hallucinations are an inevitable byproduct of an AI experience. To prevent the model from causing confusion or harm, we must build predictability into our design process through testing. And finally, human in the loop. It's a concept that's been around for a while, probably since I think the 60s, but it's the practice of having a human with their metaphorical hand on the wheel. It's their monitoring, correcting, observing the AI. In order to make these experiences make sense for users, we need to evolve our process as designers and build transparency into the AI experience through thoughtful design. Because when we ignore these principles of design, AI is not only failing, it's creating mistrust, chaos, and harm. I'm Libby Spencer-Johnston. You probably know that if you've landed on my page, and I also work at the greatest airline in the world. Not the hometown airline of Dallas, where I delivered this talk, but United Airlines, where good leads the way. And I absolutely love my job because I get to work not only with research and strategic operations on our user experience team at United, but my focus is on products that support the operational needs of the airline. That includes baggage recovery systems for delivery, contact centers, and network and station operations. I also get to work with our AI, automation, and innovation products. And even though, as a company, we're absolutely leading the way in AI strategy, I'm not actually going to be sharing a United case study. Today I'm going to be sharing a story that details 4 critical assumptions that cause AI implementation to fail. And then I'm going to show you how the 4 UX strategies I shared can correct those assumptions. And, this is a story. It's based on my experience, but it's also the experience of my peers. And as we go along through the story, I'm going to be sharing some of the practical design strategies that you can start implementing now. So, meet Gulfwind Hat Company. The leadership at this Dallas-based cowboy gear wholesaler wanted an AI solution for their customers. They had heard about the hype. Their tech team was really excited because this is a chance to flex. In that kickoff room, the ideas are buzzing. They're talking about 24/7 support, streamlined onboarding, faster sales funnel. An AI chatbot, hey, that could predict down to the color, material, and brim style what hats are going to sell best in a customer's market. And amidst this excitement, somebody asked, hey, do we even need design and research for this? After all, it's AI. And just like that, Gulfwind decided that user research was optional. As the engineers were creating the architecture, they decided to use a hybrid model. They chose the smartest LLM they could, because that's going to ensure that customers got what they wanted. They then connected the LLM to internal documentation, frequently asked questions, and product database to provide guardrails. After all, for a generative chat experience, an LLM was all you needed. They built a simple UI and started testing it. How can I help you? Do you have hats that can combine beaver and felt? Well, these SKUs combine those materials. Hooray! Oh my gosh, this answer is so technically accurate. It's pulling from our product database. And if it's not exactly what a customer wants, that's okay, because they can ask a follow-up question. After all, the users are going to figure it out. So, Gulfwind launched their MVP. When the initial feedback was looking promising, they implemented a wider release. But quickly, things started to shift. While the implementation team was trying to understand the feedback from customers, it looks like they were asking to check on the order, but the model thought they were asking to pay by check. Ooh. Calls and emails were increasingly referencing mistakes from the chatbot. A major issue appeared with hallucinations around shipping information, like this interaction between a customer and the chatbot. The longtime customer knew the chatbot was wrong. 300 customized handmade hats took more than 30 days to ship. But what the customer doesn't know right now is that the chatbot is hallucinating. That chatbot decided to make up a response because it didn't have access to order status. Customers were frustrated. Like in this interaction where someone wanted to return their order. The chatbot offers to print a shipping label. That would be great. But then it fails to provide follow-up. When the customer asks for their return label, they're told that their order isn't eligible for return. Well, is it eligible return? Your last order has 14 items. Would you like to return them all? The customer might be frustrated here. And the response, your order is not eligible for return, is not helping the situation because the chatbot, it's stuck in a loop. So at this point in the implementation, most of chatbot interactions were ending before the third message. They couldn't hang on as long as this customer could. And customers that stayed were generally escalating to human support. But Gulfwind's customers were also wondering why a company they had trusted had fallen for the AI hype. Last year, the RAND Group released a study showing that 80% of AI projects fail. So, why is this number double the rate for traditional IT projects? Is it because teams believe the hype? Is it because they believe that design is just screens? Leadership had questions about the team. Why had the implementation failed? And in asking these questions, they revealed 4 critical assumptions. First, they said, what did the customers want the chatbot to do? Well, the team had assumed that user research was optional. Because they assumed that an LLM was all you needed, the tool lacked context, guardrails, and a better way to escalate. Why had the team let the model hallucinate and drift unchecked? Because we assumed that users would figure it out. And finally, why did our customers lose trust? Because we assumed the design was just screens. We confined the design to a UI somewhere in the middle of the project. But despite the chaotic crash, the team decided to try again. And this time, They knew they weren't just going to implement AI. They were going to design an experience. This time, design and research were part of the process at the beginning. And research started by talking to customers, both old and new. What they found out was that Gulfwind's customers weren't always interested in a faster transaction. Time and efficiency are important always, but it's more important for them to feel a sense of trust with their supplier. They valued the knowledge that Gulfwind brought to them, as well as their hometown Dallas feeling. These customers wanted to know they were talking to a reliable partner, someone they could trust, not a guessing machine. The research team also interviewed support agents who helped them determine the high-volume, low-risk use cases. This also helped when the engineers were tweaking the model, because now they decided to include documentations around customized bulk orders. The team was building an experience that was more reliable through research. Here's how you can apply this principle. Research is never optional. Talk to your users and map their pain points before you build. Next, the team decided to lean into conversation design. They started with tone matching. They tweaked the tone of their chatbot to match what their customers wanted in an assistant. A friendly neighbor who knew their way around a good hat. Howdy, I'm here to help you with the following things. I'm powered by AI, don't worry. I got the know-how to make your order easy and stress-free. And if you ever hit a question I can't answer, I'm going to rope in one of our team members to help. They tweaked the responses to questions to provide the right amount of follow-up. Asking about custom embroidery, branded hat bands, custom colors. The tone is proactive without being pushy. They also trained the model on how to respond if a customer request violated their policies. Well, sorry partner, I'm afraid we can't do that. In a way that matched what customers would expect from Gulfwind, because now they're going to be able to kick around some new ideas. And if the customer was asking a question that the chatbot was unsure of, the chatbot knew how to handle it because the team had built in clear boundaries. The AI would check with a team member who knew the details. The conversation provided flexible escalation in a way that put the customer in control, roping in a team member who did know now, or providing the opportunity to follow up via email. Finally, the conversation also accounted for inline feedback. Targeted instances in the flow where the team wanted to capture insights. What the Gulfwind team knew now was that conversation design is interface design. And here's how you can apply this principle. You can design your chatbot's tone to match your company's voice while planning how to handle escalations, allowing for graceful failure, and creating clear boundaries. Next, the team started to test the model. Support agents who typically handled escalations fed the model questions, exposing weird replies like this one. Horseback delivery? They exposed privacy and usability requests, like in this instance, where the model asked for personal information and then failed to reply. The team met weekly to review transcripts, feedback, and iterate. The model now knew how to provide accurate shipping options, provided clarity around how customer data was used. Your address is only going to be used to calculate a shipping rate. We're not going to store it, and we're giving you the best shipping option. They even added a micro interaction for when a response was taking longer than 4 seconds. Gulfwind had improved their experience and built a more predictable model through testing. And you can apply this principle. Look at where your users are escalating to humans and monitor where they're rating and correcting responses. Those are your user experience gold mines. 6 months later, the team is still meeting weekly, but thumbs up on responses has increased exponentially, and 40% of all support instances are now handled by the chatbot, which is allowing our support agents to have the opportunity to prioritize time with complex customer interactions. Did the design process look different to anybody? That's a trick question. Of course it did. And that is what might be causing anxiety for some of us who've been designing for a while, because, how are we going to translate our role in human-computer interaction amid the AI hype? I didn't even show one Figma screen. What we as practitioners need to remember is that design represents our ability to innovate. It's not just about tabs, it's not just about buttons. It's systems level thinking. And what design does is provide clarity into those systems. Because good design, it's invisible. And through invisibility, thoughtful design creates transparency. And in an AI experience, that transparency can look as simple as changing a prompt from, "How can I help you?" to a response that provides transparency into what a system does, and to what that system can do for you, and how you can utilize that system. Because as we evolve what our process looks like, we need to remember that thoughtful design creates transparency. And you can apply this principle by establishing clear expectations throughout the experience, telling your users what the AI can do and showing them that they're in control. Let's compare. Without UX, research was optional. But with UX, we built reliability into our product through research. Without UX, we thought an LLM was all we needed. But with UX, we understand that conversation design is a form of interface design. And without UX, we leave the users to figure it out. And with UX, we build predictability into our experiences through testing. Without UX, we confine design to just screens. But with UX, we use thoughtful design to create transparency. Because smart models don't make usable experiences. That's what good design does. And generative AI isn't about outsourcing intelligence. It's about augmenting it. It's about building tools that are going to extend human creativity, decision-making, and trust. Because when we look beyond the hype, we see that success with AI isn't about the model or the advanced tech. It's about whether people can use it, understand it, and trust it. Because the more powerful the model, the more critical the design. The future of AI is still being written. Let's make sure it's human-centered and well-designed. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation with me. And whether you're building AI tools or you're rethinking how you want to work with them, I'm definitely up for a conversation, and I'd love to chat more. Feel free to reach out to me here through the community or by message, or leave a post below.